Alright, thank you for checking out this video. In this one we're going to return back to the original heavy metal jacket airsoft format, and we're going to jump back into a series I was doing on the VFC V3 gas blowback system versus the Tokyo Marui MWS system. This topic has now kind of been beaten to death on YouTube, and there's now like a lot of great resources to look at if you're deciding between these two platforms. Now, with the V3 system from VFC sort of coming to its end with their new system that they're rolling out with their KS1, I want to start wrapping this series up. So this one's going to be just about my experience from the day I got them until now. We're going to start with the VFC because I got that first. So I came at the VFC XM177E2 when it came out. It was one of the first V3 system ones that they did, and I came into this from using WE. Again, I used the WE XM177s, the M16s, because of the carry handle. I went with that. I did end up getting M4s and stuff as well, but I didn't go with MWS because I originally wanted the retro carry handle stuff, and if I already had the XM177 from WE, I already had the mags and stuff. When it came to wanting an M4, I just stuck with the platform. So my experience with gas blowback stuff started with WE. Coming onto this from WE was like night and day. It actually worked. I had a reliable gas blowback option to use that actually worked and worked well. My main issue with the WEs was they would work okay for the first game or so. They'd be decent enough accurate as they came. There'd be plenty of upgrade options you could do to make them more competitive, but they would do all right for a couple games, and then you would be plagued with sort of an endless domino effect of things that need replacing, things that stop working, things that need replacing, things that stop working. You change one thing, it has an impact on something else, and that was the pattern I found. I think their trigger box was just too weak. All the materials inside were too weak, and things would start to break, and if you replace something with a harder steel part, it would break something else that was made of cheese. So they were good looking, sort of. I ended up painting mine a more suitable retro cult grey, but when this was announced, I sold all my WEs and purchased one straight away. So I got on the VFC platform first, and I got this at the start of 2023, sorry, when they came out. And it's probably been my most used gas blowback rifle since then, just because it is very reliable. I don't have to worry about anything breaking or anything stop working. My favourite part of this is a point that I harp on all the time in these videos, and that is that the mag gas capacity is ridiculous. It just keeps going. And if you watch back my previous videos in this series, I get 8 full mags worth of BBs out of one of these little short mags before it needs regassing, and it still was locking back on empty, which is batshit crazy. Having said that, it's not been without its issues. The first issue I had was that the nozzle return spring that yanks the nozzle out of battery and helps to load a new BB snapped. I have no idea how or when it snapped. I think it was maybe only the third game in, but at the time I had a big garden, and I'd be shooting this at literally every single day without doubt, just plinking targets in the garden every single day. Around the third or fourth game with it, I noticed that the return spring had snapped, and I can't even remember how I noticed it. I think at one point it jammed, so as it went back in to the chamber, it sort of came in at an angle and got caught and stopped the bolt from closing. And I was like, oh, let's have a look at that. It still worked. Like, it still would clear several magazines on one full of gas. So I didn't notice it, and I played another game with it like that, with the broken nozzle return spring, and it ran fine. It would just not do as many magazines per gas fill, basically, because as the pressure got lower, it would struggle to come back enough to pull the nozzle out the way and load a new round without the, you know, the extra kicky gas pressure. So even with the broken nozzle return spring, it was still usable. I still took it to games, which is a pretty good feat. Now, throughout my time using the VFC stuff, I've also had the MCX Rattler, the first one, that I had a tough time with. I managed to get it running in the end, but I ended up selling it just because my, you know, the love for it had died with all of the problems that it had run into. I've also had the M16, the XM16 E1. I've got a custom 416C that I built out of all different parts and custom parts, and the Colt M727 that I turned into a blood diamond carbine. This has seen the most use, so this is what I'm basing my opinion on, right? You'll notice it currently does not have its original bolt carrier. It has the one out of the XM16 E1, just because I like the silver look on it. I prefer the look of it to a black bolt carrier, so that's what I did. The barrel, the hop, the rubber is all stock, and with this one at least, it's been fine. Sometimes I use, you know, 2.5s indoors, and you don't want to be over hopping light BBs if you're restricted to using light BBs. And again, like the Rattler, for example, it couldn't do it. It would send them to the moon at targets like 10 feet away. So as far as this one goes, it can hop BBs, it can shoot BBs nice and straight. I've got no issue hitting a target 50 meters away. If I need to hit a target further away than that, I'll either get someone else to do it, or I will get closer. So overall, VFC to me has been a very reliable, very usable platform, and I will continue to use it. Recently, my eyes have been opened a bit more. Maybe I've been a bit more on the VFC side of the fence than perhaps justifiably. I've seen both firsthand and, you know, online. I've been keeping up with Jaeger Precision's range videos a lot. I've seen stuff online like that, as well as like first-hand experience of the VFC platform just being completely outperformed on the field by the MWS. The one game I took the Colt 727 to, I found when I was using that at this game, I didn't really particularly enjoy the game. I didn't really enjoy the site I was at, but when I was using that, I was struggling to hit people while next to someone on my team that was using an MWS. I don't know if it was stock or if he had upgraded anything or whatever, but he was just hitting them no problem. And I was like, hang on a minute, like I'm doing the same thing you are, why aren't I hitting it? And he had no trouble plinking and hitting the players that I was struggling to hit with my VFC. Now, I was able to quickly adjust the hop on the field. I had my screwdriver in my bag to pop off the handguard and adjust, and I was able to make up for it a little bit, but it just didn't have, even though the BBs were going far enough, it didn't have that same accuracy as this other guy's MWS did. It got me thinking a bit. Thinking back to my MWS experience. Now, I, throughout this summer, have kind of mostly been using this MWS CQBR that is currently set up kind of like my favorite way. It's how I'd use it indoors with the PEC, Somo Gear PEC with the laser, the red laser, not the IR one, I don't have night vision, and a flashlight. So it's all self-contained. I've got a button for it up here. I've got this very lightweight little red dot sight on the back of the carry handle, and simple stock that's nice and lightweight, and these shorty mags which I really like. A1 grip and the CAC style trigger guard. I think this looks really mean. And overall, yeah, it's just a proper vibe. So I've been using this a lot, getting a mate into it, and the VFC is a lot more user friendly, like in terms of the mags having lots of gas for a new player. I think it's easier to manage if you don't have to worry about your mags running out of gas. It's like one less thing for them to worry about. I've been using this a lot, and I think I've been a bit spoiled and accustomed to how accurate and reliable this is in terms of hitting targets, hitting players that are exactly where you're aiming. So let's get into the Marui side of things. So my experience with this Marui started properly in like January of this year. I think I got it just before Christmas, and I took it to the first game in January. So it's relatively fresh compared to my experience with VFC, and I've had like quite a vast experience with lots of different VFC V3 ARs. I took this to a game in January. Stupid, I know. It was freezing cold. It was like 7 degrees outside, or maybe even colder. And I just thought that because it was made for the Japanese, you know, weaker gas, and all the parts inside were, you know, kind of catered towards running at lower pressures, I thought that the cold would be no problem for it. And, you know, people had told me, yeah, just get an MWS, you'll be able to run it like all year round. So that's what I did. I wanted like a GWAT retro era M4 build, and so I went with the MWS. Now, at that game, it absolutely sucked. I ended up having to switch out for my Marui MP7 AEP because this just would not work. It just didn't work. There was absolutely no pressure on the gas in the mags at all, and it just didn't work. Now, if you go back to my like unboxing video of this, I'm like blown away by it. Jesus. The rate of fire on that, it's silly. And then I do a shooting test video with it, and I'm like, what the fuck was that? And it's just the mags, at least the stock MWS mags that it comes with, Tokyo Marui mags, they just don't hold that much gas. You have to refill the gas pretty much every time you refill BBs. And that made me feel like I was back to using a WE again. And I just wasn't used to that. I was used to being spoilt for gas capacity with the VFCs. And when it came to using this, I just felt like I was using the WE gas guns again. And I was really underwhelmed. The pressure just wasn't there inside the mags for it to reliably cycle. So I had to not use it for the rest of the day. Now, fast forward 2 months, and I try and use it again. Bear in mind, in between, I go play a game in like February. I go play a game with the VFC, and it was fine. It was, you know, I wasn't able to get as much juice out the gas in the mags as I would do in the summer, obviously, but it still ran, and I was able to run it for the whole day. This in March was better. I had some hot pouches, like little hand warmer pouches in my mag pouches. I'm not sure if that made much of a difference. I was able to run it the whole day with minimal issues. In the morning when it was colder, I did have some problems with the gas capacity and with the gas pressure just from the cold. But as the day got, as we got further into the day, that went away, and I had a really good time with it. There was a moment in that game where the little group I was with were holding down an objective, and we held it off for the entire match pretty much. The other team kept trying to attack us from different angles, but our group just held it off, and I got literally every single hit on them with this. It outperformed everything that everyone else in the group had. It was great. I'd gotten over the gas capacity thing, my issues with the mags not holding enough gas. Got over that by just getting shitloads of mags. So I had like 5 of these and 4 of these. I'll get into what they are. And 6 of these. So I was able to just keep going and stay in the fight. And at the quiet moments, I was able to, you know, I always have gas in my bag on me if I'm using this, just in a little rucksack, so gas and ammo, just able to quickly refill in between during the quiet parts when the attack wasn't happening. That was good. And going back to what I was saying about the game recently, where I was using the 727 and the guy next to me was using an MWS, that's where my brain went back to. I was like, right, I'm now in the same position as the other people on my team were, and looking to the guy with the MWS to make the hits, because back to March, that's what was going on. I was spotting and I was shooting them, and shooting them a lot more successfully through having this. Fast forward again, I took it to a CQB game, and this is obviously like unstoppable at CQB. Like, you semi-auto only, the gas capacity thing doesn't matter as much, the games are shorter. It's a different way of playing. It's definitely my preferred gameplay style is indoor CQB. It's just a lot more intense, a lot more high octane, a lot more adrenaline fueled, and there's less, it feels like there's less room within the game and the structure for the kind of lame, oh, look at my rifle and shooting it off into the trees and geeking out. There's less time for that, and there's more just playing the game, and that's what I prefer. So we've got absolutely killed it at CQB, both of them did, to be fair. And then fast forward again a month later, so I think we're in like April or May or June now. Took both of them to an outdoor game, and I was using this, and again I had less mags. I'd sold off some of the MWS mags, got these Modify Tech ones, not Guns Modify Tech mags, which are very good. I did a video on these, and a lot of people have asked me what I think of them. I think by these, they haven't leaked, they hold a bit more gas than a stock MWS without doing the green gas mod. Like, I think they just have a shorter like tube around the inlet valve as they come, and so yeah, there's no need to take them apart and whatnot, they're fine. Sold the MWS mags because I did the green gas mod on 2 of them, and this one ended up being a bit fucked from it. Leaking lots. This arrived leaking when I got the gun. It came with the leaky mag. Didn't have great experience with the MWS mags, and I was looking for something with a bit bigger gas capacity. Once I found these, I was like, I'm not going to use the MWS ones as much, the Tokyo Marui ones, sorry, as much. I may as well sell the Marui ones. So I did. I meant to get more of these, but I'll probably end up getting more of these because I really like these. Similar situation in this game. I'm using this. We're holding down like this little like hut fort thing, like 2-story thing, and the distance that we're engaging the other team at is a bit further than in the previous game I was on about, when it was much more sort of tight knit and in the dense sort of woodland part of the map of the site. And so I'm having to reach out and hit people quite far away with this, and I didn't realize how easy it was making it, to be honest. I didn't realize how easy this Tokyo Marui MWS was making hitting those targets. I didn't realize that it was the gun doing it until, again, last month using the Colt 727. To be fair, I hadn't had much time to set up the hop and stuff properly, and there wasn't much of a range to do that with at this airsoft site. So it was like dense woods, and once your BBs are gone sort of 20-30 meters, you just lost them. You couldn't see them anymore. It just really made me realize how much more accurate these are. And it's not that these don't have the range, because they do. It's that the flight path of the BB is just super consistent and predictable, and you know where it's going to go, and as long as you set up your sights and zero everything properly, you're going to be hitting what you're aiming at. Would it be nice to have the gas capacity of these with the accuracy and consistency of these? Hell yeah. Like 100%. I think Marui need to again, I've said it before, I think Marui need to like upgrade their magazines. I know my last video on the Marui was the best platform of 11 years ago. You know, and that was admittedly kind of clickbaity, but also I do think they, you know, it's a 10-year-old plus platform. It could do with a bit of an upgrade, an update in terms of maybe its magazine gas capacity. Everything else is pretty solid. But let's get back to some of just the issues I've found with both. I've kind of gone over the issues of the nozzle return spring that I had with the VFC XM177, and that's kind of pretty much been the only issue I've had. I caused some issues with it by trying to short stroke it for some reason, and then it wouldn't lock back on empty, and the thing that I was using to short stroke it sort of got stuck in the end. I had issues with these pins sort of walking out, but that again was because I'd taken everything out to clean it and not put it back in properly. The parts of the springs that retain these pins in weren't sat in the right place and weren't doing it, so the pins were walking out. There was an issue I had with the trigger not resetting properly. I've had this issue with the MWS as well, but basically, like, I had a problem where if you were firing it on semi, the trigger wouldn't reset until you cocked it forward with that or wiggled the fire selector. Strange problem. I fixed it by taking everything out and cleaning it and put it back in, and that was it. I think it was something that, you know, they come with a lot of like factory, thick, sticky factory grease, these VFCs, when you get them new, and all of that stuff over a bit of time had just sort of seeped into the trigger mechanism and was gunking it up and causing it to not reset reliably. I also had the receiver part of the trigger guard retainer pin snap off because the receivers are made of a cheesy aluminium that couldn't stand the pressure of me hammering the pin back through when I swapped out the trigger guard. So it's currently just held in place by the trigger guard and the trigger guard pin and the other side of the receiver. It's very annoying. Very annoying problem. If there was a stronger finish on it, like the Cerakote on the MWS, maybe it wouldn't have done that. Other than that, you know, it's issues that I've resolved by cleaning it, and that's it. Nothing's broken or snapped or touched with other than that spring. For a replica that's coming up, you know, 3 years old, I think that's not bad going. I think that's good for that value for money, especially compared to the WEs and what they would take to keep running. The MWS, so I had the, you know, the issue with the gas capacity. I know that's a me problem. It's not necessarily something that's wrong with the design of the gun. It was based on what it was intended to do. Nonetheless, it was an issue to me. When I did the green gas mod on the mag, not only did it make it start leaking, but it also started tripping the Z plate on green gas. So if I was using green gas, my mags wouldn't always lock back open on empty, and that is a problem. I also had the issue with the trigger not resetting. So again, I would, if I held it back too long, oh no, that's locked open. So if I held the trigger back too long, it wouldn't reset. Now, obviously, it's fine. And again, all I've done with that is clean it. And I didn't even clean it. All I did was, someone suggested on one of my videos to just put a load of WD-40 in there. Despite my sort of better judgment on the use of WD-40 with lots of metal parts, I just did it anyway. Wiped away all the excess. I did get WD-40 sort of leaking out the trigger and the pins for a while afterwards, and straight away it stopped getting stuck. The trigger stopped getting stuck and it would reset every time. I can't remember the name of the person that commented that on that video, but thank you, because it definitely worked. Sticky trigger and the bolt not holding back on empty with green gas. Now I've got green gas in here. I'm not sure how much green gas is in here. I do find that when the mag's like nearly out of gas, it does hold back on empty, and that actually doesn't have any in it, and I bet it's leaking. yeah, so didn't hold back that first shot, but it is now. I'm just going to see what's going on with my Marui mag. Again, this is the mag it came with. It's sort of been leaky on and off ever since. Seems okay. Again, this is had the mod done so the valve doesn't actually spit any gas out when it's full anymore. There you go. So no lock back on empty. Now, something someone recently commented on a video was a potential fix for this that does kind of make a bit of sense, so I'm going to give that a go. That's to loosen the buffer tube one rotation. Just take a wrench, loosen that off. Spring here that I really don't want to lose. And there's a piece here. That keeps the thing from rotating. That's pretty smart. Oh, there's that 10p that I put down the buffer tube. I forgot that. maybe I should have just taken that out. Sorry if my head's in the way of the camera. Let's get our plate back round. Get that spring back in. Tighten that back on. Shove that 10p back down there. Cool. Now maybe that will be more better. The buffer design, it does make it a bit of a pain to get back together, but let's see if that made a difference. No. So it's still not locking back. Right, let's get rid of the 10p. See if that helps. I can't remember what the benefit of putting a 10p in is, really. The twangy sound. I don't mind the twangy sound. I'd rather. Ooh, there we go. Right, let's top that off. See if we can do it again. Hell yeah! All right, that's cool. Thank you for the tip, whoever that was. Can't remember. What's going on there? This is the Modify Tech mag. gave these mags all these praise, and it goes and does that. There we go. Weird. Ooh. Something to look into, I guess. Maybe these modified tech mags aren't all that. As I said, as far as like vibes go, I really like these short mags. These were 36 quid a pop from Eagle 6 in the UK when they had them in stock, which is great. I think I was able to get 5 full mags on one full of gas on them, which is perfectly acceptable. Better than the 2 at a push that you get out of the Marui mags. I really like the finish of these. I think the finish looks nice as a contrast with the finish of the receiver, and they just feel really nice. They go in really nice. Yeah, I like them. Gives it the Black Ops Commando look vibe. Where am I going with this? Yes, I think VFC, more realistic feeling, but when it comes to actually playing, the MWS is just more useful. I think if Tokyo Marui made an XM177, or at least a retro one that I didn't have to, you know, get an expensive kit for, I'd be all in on the MWS, and just have like 80 of these magazines. It's just performance wise, in terms of that, there are two sides of this. There's the gas capacity side, and having enough gas in your mags to play a full game without having to refill gas and take yourself out of that immersive experience. Or there's the accuracy side of the performance, which is consistent hits on target, and unfortunately there's not that much of a blend of both. Don't get me wrong, this is plenty accurate for CQB, for shorter range engagements, and you know, I got used to using this and not needing to get as close to people to hit them for a while, and then went back to the VFC platform and was like, oh shit, I hadn't even realized that, you know, how much work this was doing compared to this in terms of its accuracy. The comparison result as old as time, really. Get a VFC if you want a particular model, or if you like the realistic trigger and hammer and stuff. It's very reliable. In terms of it breaking, you know, it's not going to break. There are things you can do to upgrade the accuracy of the, you know, the hot performance and the consistency. But if you don't want to do any of that, if you just want an M4 or a Mark 18 or something, you know, not niche, just get an MWS and buy loads of mags. Get an MWS, buy loads and loads of mags, and do some of the things that you need to do to get it running reliably on green gas. I've not had the nozzle spring snap in this, touch wood, yet, and I have had one snap in the VFC, so that is kind of saying something to that thing. I do expect it to at some point, and I do anticipate needing to replace it with something that will withstand the higher pressures of the green gas. But till it does, I'm not gonna mess around with it. I'll change things as and when I need to, and not just willy-nilly because other people do. The thing that really does baffle me with the VFC accuracy and consistency, and I'm not shitting on it, I'm not saying that it's not accurate or consistent, it's just not as accurate and consistent as this. But the thing that really does baffle me is this is ridiculous. Like, it's ridiculously good. And this is the VFC MP5 version 2. This just seems to get more and more better the more it gets used, and this is something that I loan out to people quite a lot as you're trying airsoft for the first time. Here you go, kind of thing, and it just absolutely rips. And the range and consistency and the accuracy on this is comparable to the Marui, much more so than the VFC V3 AR platform. And I don't get it. I don't think it was this good when I first got it. Using it recently, I was actually absolutely blown away by how well it was hopping 3.2s, and how far it was sending them accurately. Now the hop on this is super intuitive. You just pull the hand guard off, and it's this little clicky wheel that has very audible clicks. And sit there and tweak it and shoot and tweak it and shoot until you can see that it's, you know, sending them nice and far and straight. And then zero your sight, you like, accordingly. So I don't get how they've seemingly got it really right with this and then not so much with this. I also don't like the design really of where this is. If the spring in the delta ring was easier to pull back and you could just pop that handguard out, it would be better. But because it's an absolute bitch to pull this back, it's can be quite a pain to adjust the hop, especially if you're trying to do it on the fly. This is much better. I know that's also down to the design of the MP5 itself. Pretty pleasantly surprised the last time I got this out. Definitely worth having a look at getting if you're sort of on the fence about which MP5 you want to get. These are absolutely fantastic. So we'll start to wrap things up there. The only other thing that I'm going to have to think about when it comes to this comparison is the BCM. I was really sort of blown away by how well this thing performed on like the overview video, but it's not been sort of field tested yet. We haven't taken it out to shoot any targets at range or taken it to any games. So it's one of the more recent VFC V3 guns. So it is a good example of where they got that tier of their platform to. Notably, VFC do upgrade things as they go. So even though these are both VFC V3, this being an early one, this will have a lot more tweaks and stuff done to the design as they went on, rolling out more and more different replicas in their range in the product line. So it will have things that had been improved upon, even though they're both V3. So it'll be interesting to see how this does in terms of its accuracy and consistency compared to both the older version of the platform and other platforms like the MWS. I think I've rambled on about this quite enough for one day. Like and subscribe if you like my content. Hit the notification bell if you're interested in seeing an update video after that BCM's been used a bit more. Then hit the notification bell so that you get notified of future videos and stuff that I've got coming up. For now though, we'll leave this one there. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.